had to cut the last video short. My phone was having trouble exporting it for some reason. But anyway, here's a look at the view from the south side of the farm here. Well, I say, hey, let's take a look at some of the projects we got going on. Kind of a couple of interesting things. Working on the wood chipper and have another little toy to work on. Once we have time, of course. But anyway, let's get to it. This is the other project we've been working on right now. Wood chipper. It's a little bit of an antique, but kind of neat. Almost looks like an old truck hood on the over the engine there. And just a nice inline 6, gas powered. It's a drum chipper. There's a big drum in there with some knives on. But yeah, since we got it, it hasn't been working quite right. And been trying to get that sorted out. Got the knives sharpened. We thought that was maybe the first problem. Yeah, it's probably a bit of a problem, but not as much as the next problem we've had. The anvil, that's where the knives cut against, it's hidden back under there somewhere. I'll show that in another video once we get there. Is either extremely worn down or missing. So we're trying to get that out. We had a neighbour come out and help us get a bolt off that was not being very cooperative. So appreciate you coming out there, John. Thanks for that. So now we got that bolt out, we can get the anvil out, take a look at that and see if we need to replace it or what. But not quite sure how that will go yet, because manufacturing this machine, Asplund, I think it's pronounced, the Asplund Chipper Company, they haven't been in existence for a while, so don't know if any of those are going to be compatible or what. It's just going to be a bit of a crapshoot. We may have to end up making our own. I don't know how that'll go, but you know, gotta get it going, I guess, and get some chips done here, so we'll figure it out. The other project we've been working on is this guy. It's a CNC Router. It's a 4x8 table, so nice and big. I'm going to be using this on a few projects. Going to try and make a sign for the farm here, and going to try and cut out some bits for some rail cars that we want to manufacture over winter. Yeah, we just got it in here, so it's kind of a little bit messy still, but you know, dumped all the stuff on because we had to get out and water the trees yesterday. But one of these days we'll get it cleaned off and operational. We want to get it into the wood shop at the back there, but there's a few things in the way first. So it might be a little while before we get it properly running, but we might just do a few test runs with it out here just to get it going. So yeah, that's why I had to go into Calgary yesterday, or Airdrie I guess it was, to get training on this thing and pick it up. So yeah, it was made by Alberta CNC. He's kind of an inspirational guy. He's a single dad. He's had some challenges in life with that and getting custody of the kid and all that. But yeah, he's you know, pretty energetic, and yeah, he got this machine built for us. Started his company there, Alberta CNC, and yeah, it's pretty good machine. It looks pretty good, pretty beefy. You know, we were wondering about doing a machine out of the States, but that was gonna end up costing, you know, just a couple of grand less than this, really, once it was here and imported. So definitely glad we went with this machine instead. And yeah, so you know, if you need a machine, check out Alberta CNC. It's pretty good stuff. I'm quite pleased with it. You know, and but yeah, just keep in mind he is a single dad, so you know, it does take him a little longer than he hopes for things to happen sometimes. You know, this machine, we ordered it back in January and just got it now in May, so he originally quoted us about a month, but things got a little too busy for him, and you know, he had some challenges with getting custody of his daughter and suddenly having to take care of her full time. So yeah, he's had some challenges with that, so it took a little longer, but yeah, it's a good machine. We're pleased to have it, and you know, as long as you're patient with the guy at Alberta CNC there, he'll come through in the end. And yeah, we're pleased that we have it, and looking forward to getting it in use here. Had the wife pick up some polytape and some step-in posts. The wife bought them, hence why they're pink. Guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but that's okay. They still work great. Trying out this polytape for sheep fencing. It's a little more work to set up, but you know, much bigger area, so a lot more grass for the sheep, so they'll probably appreciate that. Munching away already on the new grass there. Yeah, it's also, for the bigger area, it's half the cost of the electric mesh fence, so far so good. I mean, we'll see how it goes here. It's not long life as such, according to the description. Sorry about the camera shake. Got knocked by a poplar branch there, just a little one, twig, but it's one thing I have to watch with the electric fence, of course, is, you know, being under the poplars here. I like to use a few branches, so I mean, there's a real risk of one falling down and hitting the electric fence there, but you know, not a lot I can do about that other than keep an eye out, and hopefully it doesn't happen too often. But yeah, certainly it's a little bit easier with the polytape than the electric mesh fence, because I find, at least for me, the electric mesh fence gets hooked on everything. So I have it around the hay right now, just as a kind of deterrent for them to just chew down all the hay there. But yeah, I just found when I was using it, it kept getting hooked on everything, and it was tough to keep it tight. It was tough to keep the bottom wire off the ground. You can see even where it's sitting here, you know, half the bottom wire touching the ground, just because that's as tight as I could get it. You know, lots of uneven ground, so it's tough to keep it tight, keep it off the ground. And I was using a bunch of step-in posts to try and help with that, but even then it was still, you know, not brilliant. So I was definitely losing some of the charge on the ground there, and you know, lots of trees around here close to, so I was losing some on the branches and stuff that I couldn't avoid. Whereas the polytape, it's a lot easier to keep it off the ground. You know, I kept it a little higher this time round. You know, some areas I might run it on the bottom rung. This time I ran it the second one up. See how it goes. But yeah, it keeps it off the ground, keeps it not bad. Didn't get it 100% tight. A couple of spots you can see the top line's drooping a little bit, but it's still plenty high enough. I mean, it's 48-inch posts, so you know, even the droops there, it's only, you know, maybe 43, 44 inches. So yeah, it's still plenty tall. It's taller than the electric mesh fence here, I think, so especially when I had to angle it so much to mesh fence. At least this I can keep it pretty upright, pretty tight. But yeah, it was 200 meters I got. Did 3 wraps around here. One thing I definitely learnt though, you want to keep the solid part of the post on the inside when you're pulling it around a corner like this. I had the hooks on the inside, and as I kept pulling around, the tape kept popping up the hooks. So you can see I have hooks on the inside here, and you know, as I kind of stood up to walk a little bit, pull it out, it's pulling out. You can see even that bottom one there is a little on the high side, but yeah, when the post's on the inside like this one is, you know, if it does pop out like that bottom one almost is, the post is still there to hold it, so you don't end up short-cutting or running into any issues with you know, your fence coming down because it popped off. So definitely one thing I'll do next time I string it out is make sure the post is on the inside rather than the hooks. But yeah, so I mean, so far so good. We'll see how the sheep handle it, see how everything goes. It certainly gives them a massively larger area. You know, it's good because I can get them on more grass, get them eating more. So yeah, it's just the electric mesh fence was a little short for that. But, if my math is correct, I think the length of fence is somewhere around 150 odd feet or something. It was 200 meters, so 600 odd feet of wire and 4 lengths, so yeah, around 150 feet, give or take. I got pretty lucky. It's right on the end of the spool, so I had exactly the right length there for this area, so that was kind of handy. But yeah, so see how it goes. But so far so good, and liking having the sheep grazing around here. I mean, they seem to be doing a pretty good job. You can see exactly where the last lot of electric fence was. It's pretty well defined where they were eating up to. So they seem to eat the grass down pretty good. So, you know, see how they do. Seem to like the lawn here, so might keep them on the lawn for a while. There's lots of dandelions and stuff for them to eat down along here too. So, you know, it's not just grass, it's lots of other stuff. I don't know how well it shows on the camera here, but you know, lots of dandelion leaves. There's some clover, alfalfa, whatever, popping up there. There's, yeah, lots of stuff popping up in the lawn here, so should be enjoying it. And of course, lots of popular leaves for them to eat too. They like those. So, yeah, so far so good, and see how they do. Spent a little time poking out some of the grass clippings on the grow out bed here. Certainly helps keep the weeds down, grass down quite a lot. When you look at some of the areas that I did last year, yeah, there's a bit of grass popping up in places, but you know, you compare that to the areas where I didn't put it. You know, there's way more grass there, and more weeds popping up. So, mulch definitely helping keep things under control. You know, not as great as it could be, but you know, I'm not putting a thick layer down just because, you know, the tree seedlings, they need to not be buried a foot deep, you know, so thin layer is helping. It's improving the soil underneath, which is another huge thing. But yeah, as I said earlier, I want to put down some cardboard maybe just to smother some of the grass bit by bit, put some wood chips over it. But yeah, I've had the well sprinkler on the grow up bed just because a few of them are going a little yellower than they should. Not a lot, but I mean, you can see just a few of them are just that little bit lighter in colour than they should be. So, get them a little bit of water while we can. Didn't really get much rain today. Just sprinkling a little bit at the moment, but you know, we haven't had anything substantial, so still have a fair bit of grass clippings left, so that's at least something. But don't know what I'll do once those are gone, because of course with those hungry sheepies over there eating a lot of the grass, may not have as many clippings this year, so I'll have to get some straw or just switch to wood chips. But yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there. But yeah, at least the grow out bed's doing pretty good and looking in good shape. So I'll wrap this one up. I think it's been I think what, 3 days now since I've actually finished a full video, just because there's been so much watering, and you know, I don't think that's particularly super interesting to watch all day. So yeah, finally some more interesting things going on that hopefully you'll enjoy seeing what goes on around here. So thanks for watching and have a good one.